What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another playoff series video. Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Day. Hope you all got a lot of stuff you wanted. Hope you're in the spirit of Christmas, even though where I live there's literally no snow on the ground, which is very strange for this time of year. And got some good stuff, most important thing being NHL 22. But I got some Blackhawks game tickets for one of the games, so I'm going to see the 100 row. So 100, section 100, I should say. So I can't wait to go to that game. I'll have to then rewatch it on record because I'll just be too busy focused on the game rather than taking notes. So I'm not even going to bother taking notes when I'm there. Anyway, got a bunch of hockey books, and yeah, just a good Christmas overall. But now we get back to the series videos. So we got 2011 round one, and this was the third consecutive year Chicago faced Vancouver, but this is the first time they played them in the first round. Also, the first year they were predicted to lose the series, or actually, 2009 they were predicted to lose the series, but that was they were overall better. Just Vancouver was in a weaker division that year, so they got the higher seed. So Chicago was the hangover Hawks, the 8th seed with 97 points. Sorry about that. I was just attacked by my brother. Anyway. So yeah, Canucks were 20 points ahead of Chicago this year. President's Trophy winner, won their division, won the West, best team in the league. Though on paper they were not at all. They had, I'd say, 3 good players in that after that. It was just a bunch of depth pieces and people that tried to kill you. So Hawks came into the series. Game 1 in Vancouver. They lose 2-0. Chris Higgins gets on the board with his first of the playoffs, and then Yannick Hansen makes it 2-0 with his first of the playoffs in the first. 3 minutes and 10 seconds apart. Game 1 done, no scoring in the second or third. Hawks get shut out 2-0, but overall, first game is fine. Game 2, they lose 4-3. Yannick Hansen gets on the board early with his second of the playoffs. Then Daniel Sedin with his first of the playoffs on the power play makes it 2-0 in the second period. Ben Smith then makes it 2-1. Ben Smith had a hell of a series. He scored. He showed what he could have been in this series. He was also pretty good in 2014, 2012, and 2013. He wasn't really there, and then after 2014, he was just kind of gone. But he had a good playoff this year in 2014. Alex Edler then makes it 3-1 for Vancouver with his first. Victor Stahlberg, very speedy guy, gets his first of the playoffs to make it 3-2. Daniel Sedin made it 4-2 with his second of the game and the second of the playoffs. Then Ben Smith gets his second of the game and second of the playoffs, and Canucks win 4-3. Game 3 in Chicago, Hawks lose 3-2 and they're down 3-2. How do we get there? Duncan Keith gets his first on the power play, so they have their first lead of the series, and then Christian Ehrhoff takes it away pretty quickly as at the start of the second, he scores with his first of the playoffs on the power play. Daniel Sedin makes it then 2-1 with his third of the playoffs. 54 seconds apart, those 2 goals were. Patrick Sharp then makes it 2-2 on the power play with his first of the playoffs. And then Michael Samuelsson makes it 3-2 with his first of the playoffs. During that game, in between games, 2 things changed. Well, during the game 3, Rafi Torres absolutely drills Seabrook. One, people thought it was going to be a suspension. It was not. And Torres was one of those players that if I had to make a list of players I would have kicked out of the league, Torres would be one of them. Sean Avery would be one of them. Torres would be one of them. Steve Ott would have been one of them. Those 3 guys specifically, they should have been gone. I'd argue Marchand deserves to be kicked out of the league with all the crap that he's done. But the only reason he isn't, he's a very skilled player, and I can respect that side of him. However, he is a dirty player. Therefore, I cannot. Game 4, Hawks come out at the United Center, and they say, we're not going to be kicked around anymore. They win 7-2. And Dave Bolin returns. He had a broken leg during the season. He came back for Game 4, 5, 6, and 7. He was incredible in those 4 games. Brian Bickle scores his first of the playoffs to make it. This is where he starts becoming prevalent. He was a black ace, which is someone who goes up and down from the minors in the NHL in 2010. Played in 4 playoff games that playoffs, and he scores a minute 43 in, and then Sami Salo on the power play ties it at 1-1. with his first of the playoffs. And we go to the second period where the Hawks exploded. Brian Campbell makes it 2-1 with his first of the playoffs, and then Duncan Keith 17 seconds later, so 17 seconds, the lesser-known one, makes it 3-1 with his second of the playoffs. Dave Bolin, as I said, comes back and then scores to make it 4-1 with his first. Michael Frolik then makes it 5-1 with his first. We go to the third. Patrick Sharp scores on the power play twice with his second and third of the playoffs, both on the power play. Makes it 6-1 and then 7-1. And then late in the third period, Daniel Sedin makes it 7-2 with his fourth of the series on a power play, fourth of the playoffs on the power play. And Hawks win 7-2. And they showed the series wasn't done. However, they were heading back to Vancouver, and I don't think anyone thought they were going to win that game. They don't only win, they dominate and shut them out 5-0 in Vancouver. When the hockey guy reviewed this series, I agreed the Hawks should have won this series. This is one of those series that the what-if scenario, what if the Hawks win this, it's a big one. Game 5, Hawks win 5-0. Marian Hossa gets on the board first, makes it 1-0, followed by Keith with his third of the playoffs to make it 2-0, and then Kane gets his first of the playoffs to make it 3-0. We go to the second period, Hossa gets his second of the game, second of the playoffs, makes it 4-0, and then Keith gets his second of the game, fourth of the playoffs. Keith had a phenomenal series, makes it 5-0, no goals are scored in the third, game over, 3-2 series lead heading back to Chicago for Vancouver. Game 6, Hawks win 4-3 in overtime. Daniel Sedin makes it 1-0 early with his fifth of the playoffs. Brian Bickle then makes it 1-1 with his second of the playoffs. Alex Burrows, hate that guy with a passion. Not only did he score the game 7 goals, kneed Taylor Hall in the head, and he's also bit someone. So yeah, not my favorite player. Burrows makes it 2-1 with his first of the playoffs. Dave Bolin makes it 2-2 with his second of the playoffs. Kevin Bieksa then makes it 3-2, 58 seconds into the third, and then Michael Frolik he's on a breakaway. Dan Hamhuis trips him, gets the penalty shot. Frolik scores, makes it 3-3, and we're going to overtime. Ben Smith scores in overtime on a rebound from Jarmelson and Hossa, and he gets his third of the playoffs. Hawks win 4-3 and have come back from 3 games to none down, and are trying to become at this point in time the 4th team in history, along with the 75 Islanders, the 42 Leafs, and the 2010 Flyers, to come back from 3 games to none down. And they were this close to doing it. Game 7, Hawks lose 2-1 in overtime. Burrows makes it 1-0 2 minutes and 43 seconds in with his second of the playoffs. No scoring in the second. And then with 1:56 to go, the Hawks are shorthanded. They come up the ice. It's Taze and Hossa. Taze gets the rebound off his own shot. He's falling down. He just shoots backwards. It goes into the back of the net. And it's 1-1. Taze scores shorthanded with his first of the series. And we go to overtime. And about 5 minutes in, it's Burrows with his third of the playoffs, blasted past Crawford on a Campoli turnover. And that was probably the saddest I had ever been as a hockey fan at that point. But, fun fact, the amount of goals, I added up all the goals. I haven't done this in any series, but because this one is so prevalent, I need to do it. The series scores and all the goals combined. Hawks outscore Vancouver 22-16 in the series. So, Hawks on paper should win the series. However, they overused them here, and they could have used some of these goals here. And if they had won this game, I could argue they go to the finals and lose to Boston, because I don't think they would have beat Boston that year. And no one was beating Boston that year. And we go to the stats. Keith has 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points. Bolin 2 goals, 4 assists in 6 games, and 6 points in 4 games. So phenomenal series for Bolin. Keith, phenomenal series. Hossa 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. Kane 1 goal, 5 assists, 6 points. And then there was 2 players with 5 points, 3 players with 4 points. Hawks did play pretty well this series all around, except for the first game. Game 1, Game 7, no. Vancouver, Daniel Sedin, 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 points, leads the series. Burrows, 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 points, and then Henrik Sedin, 0 goals, 5 assists, 5 points. Crawford goes 3 and 4 with a .927 save percentage. Great save percentage for Crawford. Luongo goes 4 and 3 with a .903 save percentage. And then Schneider, who was in 3 of those games. He was in Game 4, Game 5 in Game 6 he went in, and he has an .878 save percentage, saving only 36 of 41 shots, so not a great outing for Schneider. However, he would be the starter in a few years. But then by then, Vancouver was pretty much done, so... so have Merry Christmas again. Tomorrow we go over the Phoenix-Chicago series, another big what-if. That's a very strange series, that to say the least. That is one of the strangest series. I didn't notice at the time, because Phoenix was actually good that year, but that was a strange series on paper, in the games, and how it just existed. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I'm gonna go play some NHL 22. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.